Hey everybody, welcome to Example of Play. In this video, we're going to continue learning about Distant Worlds 2 and continuing our early game here. This video will probably be a little shorter than the last one and a little more focused on a couple topics, where the first one we were kind of just playing, seeing what happened, and learning about it as we go. Today, I want to focus on a couple things, kind of early game expansion and building out your infrastructure, and then exploration. So right now, we just got our spaceport going. We've got our first research to get some faster than light ships. So all our exploration ships are gearing up with that FTL drive, so they can head out and start checking out the rest of our starting solar system. Since we still haven't explored most of it, it's showing unexplored. And though the first one, they did get out there. We sent them out to this gas giant to check it out first. And we see that, oh yeah, they found a new resource out there, Caslon. So that's the fuel. It's like the universal fuel that we need for pretty much every kind of ship going out, whatever it's doing, we're going to need that fuel. So it's good that we've secured a source of that with, 92%. So pretty good source there. We'll want to get a mining station out there pretty quick to take advantage of that. In the meantime, our civilian infrastructure is still building up. It'll take a little time, but we can see there's freighters being built. Those will start moving all these resources around to the different stations that we're going to build to and from, mining stations to our spaceport, wherever they need to go. And as all that's working its way out, we'll still respond if something pops up. We'll learn about it as we go. But first, let's talk about exploration, because this is the part of the game, 4X game, explore. It's the first step, and that's what we're doing. Right now, we can start sending our ships out into our local solar system to check it out. There's plenty of planets to look at. But if we zoom out, of course, there in this game, a small game of Distant Worlds 2, there are 510 other stars out there for us to explore. So that's a pretty big effort if we ever hope to see them all. And so let's look at a little more detail of how that works. Now we start the game with an exploration ship, or it's under construction. It's one of the first things built. If we find one, which a good way to find one, let's go ahead and open up the exploration tab up here. So this is going to be all about exploration. We can see that we can see how many systems we've fully, partially, and not explored at all. And of course, we can see fully 0 because we haven't even explored our home system yet all the way. Now we're partial in it, and then there's 510 other unknown systems out there. So you can quickly see at a glance how much you've seen of your universe. If we come down here, we can find all of our exploration ships. Very handy. They can be sorted a couple different ways, but we can see also which ones are set to automated and which ones are manual. So that one I gave an order to, it's manually controlled. And from here, I can even change the setting from here without even going to select the ship, which is pretty cool. And an advisor is advising a couple more, or at least one more exploration ship. Sure, we'll build that. We'll want a bunch here in the early game because we've got obviously a lot of ground to cover, 510 systems out there, and even just finding everything in our home system first. So now we can even see we're building another one here. If you want, you can just click on one of these to bring it up. We can double click on it to jump to it, see where it's at. That one's out here exploring another planet. And so we can see what they're doing right here too. So you can always kind of track them. If you click this little button, you can switch between fully automated, manual control, which if you set them to that, you want to make sure you're giving them something to do or they'll just wait. They can be set to auto explore, which is probably what they're going to do on auto anyway. But you can also have them auto scout systems. So they're going to go out and just get kind of a quick glance at systems versus fully exploring, and then auto spy on enemies, which is going to send them out to spy on, just pop in and look at the enemies. I don't know exactly what that does, but from the description, seems like they would go and pop into enemy systems, see what's up, and then leave. But we'll leave that one. We'll set them all to fully automated for now, since that's all we need. But there's a few other things here. We can see all the known stars, planets, and moons that are out there. Excuse me, I got a little something stuck in my throat. We can sort those things. We can exclude asteroids, which we might want to do since there's plenty of those. Now we're just seeing the planets. And then also we can look for certain different types of things. So plenty of stuff here. If you're trying to find something in particular, come here. We can also search known items, so you can type in something if there's some particular planet or whatever you're trying to find. And then there's also highlights known ruins, abandoned ships and bases, and special locations. So those are obviously going to be kind of unique, special things that you're going to come across out there. At this point, all we found are these ancient ruins on our home planet. So not much to see so far, but as those things are discovered, they'll pop up here. So not a whole lot of stuff on the exploration tab, but very handy, especially if you need to just grab an exploration ship. You can find one there real quick and also manage them from there. All right, yep. So just as I was thinking, we need to build a mining station out there. The advisor says, hey, you should build a mining station out there because you need some of that Caslon. So we'll do that. And we'll check in on that later. But right now, let's take a little bit deeper dive on exploration. What do the numbers mean? What's going on when you send a ship to explore? So if we zoom in, check out this guy. He's here doing a survey at Boonta 1. So what's the difference? You'll notice if you hold down Control and right click to give a manual order, that you have an option. You can do a survey or explore. And the difference is if you explore, your ship is basically going to get just like a snapshot of that planet. They'll see what kind of resources are there, and if there is some kind of special item there, you'll just be aware of it, but you won't know what it is. If you do, that's basically just a surface level scan. It's faster, of course, but you don't find out all the details. If you do survey, they're going to go there and they're going to survey the planet and gather as much information as possible. If you zoom in, you'll see the little away teams going down to the planet to check it out. And so you're learning more about the planet. If we click on it here, we'll see it still says unexplored because we haven't found out a whole lot about it yet. But if we look at, say, the sun here, we see the little radar screen, the little green circle with a check mark by it and the number 10. So that means it had a survey level. The max survey level on this sun was 10, and the green check mark is that we know everything there is to know about it. There's nothing else to survey there. If we look at, say, our home planet, we'll see that its survey level is 29 and it's yellow. And that means we know some about it. We have surveyed it some, but we haven't learned everything about it. And then kind of interestingly, it says, or you'll notice this number is ticking up even while we're looking at it. And that's because we have a colony here. So because our people are present on that planet, it's going to naturally get explored more. It's going to get surveyed more over time. And then we can see there's unknown items present. So the yellow basically means there's more to learn about this planet that you don't have yet. And you don't necessarily know how high your exploration level needs to go to find it out. Now, how do we drive that exploration level up? Can we go as high as we need to? So at the beginning of the game, the answer is actually no. Your exploration ships have equipment on them that has a maximum level that they can go to on their survey. So if we click here, we can select our ship to see the details on it. Now, don't get scared. We're not going to get in the weeds on this screen, all the different components, all the different stats on the ship, which there's just, an insane amount of detail. We're not going to worry about that. All we're here to look at is the basic survey module. So that's what makes this an exploration ship. And if you look in the stats, I can't move the mouse onto it, but if you see, it says survey maximum level is 15. And what that means is that when this ship is scanning a planet, the highest it can get to is 15. So if the planet has some secret that's at a higher survey level, this ship won't be able to find it. And so we'll need to update to a better version later or colonize that planet. If you have a mining station there, it can also help a little bit. And then the other details up there, survey amount, that's how much the level can go up per survey, basically. And then it takes 120 seconds. So it takes a couple minutes for it to do a cycle. So for it to get to 15, it would take a little longer than the 120 seconds. But that's the main thing that came here, is just to show you that's what makes this a survey ship. Don't worry about all the other stuff. We'll get there eventually. Let's say we wanted to get our survey ship. How do we get that better equipment, that better module? So if you look on the research screen, among the many, many things you'll want to research, there are some exploration items here. So there's sensors. Those help us to see other ships and things. And that's a whole other, its own little topic. But under basic exploration, we start the game with this. We start with the survey scanner, which is what we have, the basic one that has the maximum level 15. We can research the advanced survey module, which if you look up there, you can see its survey max level goes up to 25. And it's also a little bit faster. So it surveys more at a time with a little bit shorter cycle time to do it. And then the max level is higher. So we'll probably want that eventually to go out so we can send our ships out to learn more without needing to actually colonize those planets and things. You might also notice there's the exploration scanners here. And so it's a resource that gives you the resource scanner. And then the difference with that is basically this is if you're wanting to do like a fast sweep of a system and just see what resources are available. It's very much in the name. Generally, you'll probably want to do surveys to learn as much as you can. But you might want to have ships that are set up with this because it has a range. So it says it has a range of 5,000. I'm not sure how much that actually translates to on the screen, but it's fast. You can see it's 45 seconds. It's going to go out there and it could sweep through a system really fast and see what resources are available. So like my game here, we're playing with 500 stars. If you were playing like 1,000, 2,000 stars, that's a lot of systems for you to check out. So you might want some ships that are just fast, that are just going out there sweeping for resources and reporting in. And then a ship could have both. You could design a ship that has both modules so that it could quickly get a snapshot of the system and then go diving for more interesting nuggets like ruins and things. As we see here, this ship is, we're still surveying. Now it's up to 10. There's still some unknown items present. So we'll see if it finds everything there or not. Another thing you can do to manage your exploration is if you go to your policy settings. So this is on the main Empire screen where we looked at before. You can set what you want to be automated, what you want to be manual. There are some more options besides just that. You can zero in on just exploration, and this gives us a few more options. So like when we want to do a survey, if there's hidden items present, or always, or just different options. The default options are probably what you want, but you can go here and ask it, do you want it to prompt you when it's going to investigate ruins or abandoned ships? So those are usually going to be kind of special little events with some lore and stuff. So if you don't care or you only see the major ones, you can ask for it to investigate them all and not give you a report, or just report on major ones, or just nothing, just never investigate them. But if you leave it on prompt, that's the default. We'll leave it on that for now. But that's just to show you there's a few more options here. All right, and let's see. Oh, so yeah, now we're at the green check mark 11. So while we've been sitting here talking, our ship has fully surveyed Boonta 1, found all the various resources on it, and that it has 2 location bonuses. So that's why you want to do the full survey and get all the information about that planet. So like if you did build something here, you get some bonuses, exactly what resources are available, and if there's any other special items. But now we know there's nothing else to learn here. So successful survey. And then, yeah, this ship, it's set to manual. So let's switch him back to auto. Fully automate. And so then they will pick up a mission here in a second and go off. Now they're off to Boonta 4 to survey it. All right, so now that we've learned all about exploring and how to send our ships out there, what they're doing while they're running around out there, what the yellow numbers mean, we're going to find stuff. We're going to find resources, locations, places where we might want to build things. So let's talk a little bit more about how you want to build stuff. Now, in the first video, you saw the game will, if you leave it on the default, it'll suggest things like building mining stations, building a research station, the spaceport, and you'll probably want to go ahead and build those things it suggests. And then we also talked a little bit about how to do that manually. So if you say find one of your construction ships, which as an example here, sometimes it's hard to find what you're looking for. But say we found one of our construction ships here, and I'll show you a better way to do that in a second. You can control right click somewhere and get options. I like to build a small mining station there, which actually we don't want it to do that. Don't do that. Put it back on auto. So you can do that to manually have them go build something. And then a better way perhaps to see what options are out there other than manually clicking around is you can come up here and there's some easy ways to do this stuff. So first we'll click on resources to get, we can see a whole list of which resources we're working with. Now this list is filtered down. If you click here, right now we're just looking at fuel and construction resources in use. So that's kind of like what we need right now for building stuff. If we click all resources, we can see that there are, dozens of resources in the game, which a bunch of them are like luxury resources that give you different kinds of bonuses. So we're not too worried about those right now. We're just wanting to build stuff. But we can see here they're sorted by shortages. So the Kazlon, we already talked about that. We're working on that. We've got a ship going to build a mining station out there, but we might want some more because we have a pretty big deficit on it. If we look up here at the top, we can see at a glance how many resources are critical. So we only have less than 3 months supply. So the fuel, the Kazlon, which is kind of pretty much the only fuel, and then construction and luxury resources, we have a couple that we're short on. And we come down here, we can see at the top, it's the default way it's sorted. We'll see those at the top. Now let's say we want to build some mining stations to correct that. We can click through these tabs to see where we already have mining locations. Just useful to see, know what you're getting out there. And then new mining locations. So this is where we can see we have options of places to build a mining station that it's suggesting to you. So you can manually build one on any site you want. But here it's going to sort them for you automatically by priority, places that would be good to build. So Bunta 1, we can see here we're shortage on, it has 3 resources and we have a shortage on all 3 of those, and it has good supply of all of them. So we should build a station there. And to do that, all we got to do is click build station, and now that mission's queued up. Now, right now we only have a few construction ships, so we're not going to be able to build all these things all at once. It's going to take some time. Because like I mentioned in the first video, one of the cool things about the game is that those construction ships actually have to go pick up all the supplies they need to build the station from a supply depot somewhere and then take them to that location and then actually build it. So it takes a little time. If we, we'll build another station there. So also, if you have it on, you'll get those suggestions to do this too. But you could queue up all these if you want. But of course, it's going to be a little more efficient to focus on what you need first. But let's say we wanted to be able to build more stuff all at once. How would we build some more construction ships? So there's different ways. We could come here, click on the planet, and then this button, build new ship or base. We could build some here of our construction ships. We could do the same from our spaceport, and they could both be building on them. And then another way we could do it even more efficiently, especially here in the early game where we're not worried about where the stuff's getting built, you can come to build order, and you can actually see the ships that are how many are being built. And then you come down here and queue up a whole order. So we could say, all right, well, we want a couple more exploration ships. We want a couple more construction ships, and we haven't run any bad guys yet, but we'll build another escort just for fun. And so we can set that up, order all these ships at once, and just click purchase, and then they're going to get built. Now, if you do it this way, it's going to automatically build them wherever's most efficient. And so if you get a big, giant, sprawling empire, that might not be the best way if you're wanting to build stuff in a certain area. But for the most part, this is a good place to say, oh, I need some more exploration ships. I come in here and just queue up some, build real fast. And then we can also click here to see where all of our ships are of our construction ships. And you can do the same thing like with the explorers, and you could change their automation settings here. You can default them to a few different things. So if you want them to focus on just mining stations, research, monitoring, so you can focus them or on salvage, or just leave them on automated, and they'll do all the above at whatever they think is most efficient. Now, just like with the exploration, we can come up here and look at our automation settings. So our policy settings, we can tweak some stuff here as well. We come down to construction. Now for this one, there's quite a few buttons, and so we'll talk through them a bit. Now we'll leave the default is still on where ship and base design is totally automated. That'll be a video down the road a little bit where we talk about ship design. I don't know nearly enough to give you any advice on that, but we'll leave that automated. So that means when we research new components and things, our ship designs automatically change to use the newer, better stuff. And then the way we have it now, they'll automatically go get retrofitted with the better stuff. So we'll leave that alone. We can also, we have it set now where it suggests things like, hey, you should build a ship, you should build a base, and you can just have that. You can automate it if you want and just trust the AI to build all the bases and stuff without any guidance from you. So I think it's a little more fun to, pretend you're the emperor and you're approving things that they're suggesting to you. If we come down here, we have some more options that are a little more nuanced. So prioritizing state ships in the construction queue. So our construction facilities are building things for the state, the public, the state enterprise. So like military ships are ships that we control. But that's where the public sector ships, so all the freighters and mining ships that are part of the private sector are still built in our construction yards that we control. So whenever we queue up a ship for us, for the player, it's going to get prioritized. It's going to get bumped to the top of the list. But you can turn that off if you want, set it to normal. And so that way it doesn't happen. I would think most of the time you probably want your ships to get built first. But that's there. And then the same thing for docking queues. You can make the public ships wait, the private industry ships wait, and your ships have a priority for docking, which I think, you want to get your military ships updated fastest, things like that. So it probably makes sense to leave that on, but you can change it if you want. You can set things like if military ships come out the gate automated or manually controlled. So you could turn this on if you wanted to assign out each ship what you wanted it to do. And then other state ships besides the military ships the same way. We'll leave it on automated since we don't want to miss anything by having them sitting around not doing something. And then here you can set, so say you automated building spaceports. This sets what population level those would be built at for each planet. So quite a few people to build like a large spaceport, but we'll leave that alone on the defaults. And then if you come down here, you can set priority. What do you want the AI to focus on building? Do we want way more military ships, way more exploration ships? So even if you have it fully automated, without giving you any suggestion boxes popping up, you could come here and kind of tweak where you want it to focus. And then within your military ships, you could even set percentages for your fleet, what you want your overall picture to look like. Do you want to have a lot of frigates, destroyers, battleships? So that these are the default ratios, but you could tweak that if you want, if you have some particular strategy you're going for and you want the AI to build out kind of the big picture composite of what you have available based on these numbers here. We'll dish out a couple more missions there. And then this one might be a little dangerous, but might be good to save you from yourself. You can set it to auto scrap military ships and fleets when you can't afford. So if suddenly you're running a deficit for some reason, you could have it get rid of some of your ships, scrap them, so that you're not paying those costs to keep them running. But that would be, probably a little bit iffy to do that. So I'll leave that turned off. And then down here, you can have it turn on yes to build independent ships and repair them. So like independent traders might commission one of your shipyards to build a ship. You get paid for that. So I'd leave that on so they get built, but you might turn it off for some reason. All right, now having looked at that, we'll look at just a couple more things and wrap up this video. Like I said, I don't want it to be quite as long as the first one, a little more focused for each video going here on out, just one or two topics for each one. And then also depending on what pops up as we go. But we'll jump back over. So we've been waiting here a little bit. We haven't built any more construction ships just yet. They're all still under construction. Well, this one's about to leave the dock, so that's nice. And then this one's being built. So we'll have 5 out there running. We might want 1 or 2 more because we're pretty busy right now. They all have a mission. So yeah, let's queue up another one. And then we can look and see, where are they being built at? So like I said, you have your construction yards. We're we're limited to our planet that we have colonized. It can build things, and then our spaceport can build things. If we want to build another more faster, we need either better shipyards or we need to go build some more, colonize some more planets, that kind of thing. But if we look here, getting the wrong screen. So right now, if we look under the ship construction, there are a couple more tabs here. So we can see our current construction yards, and then we can also see new yard locations, which right now there's not any. There's nowhere else to build one. But we have the spaceport and the planet Bunta 2. And we can see the spaceport has a much bigger queue of ships for it to build. We can see the time counting down. That's how long it's going to take to get stuff built. And so if we add to it, that number is going to get bigger. But we can see for the spaceport, it's at 955 seconds, but it's got way more things in line than the planet. And that's because it is better at building stuff. So if we highlight it, we can see some stats here. Over there, we can see its wait time. We can see the build speed, repair speed. And if we come down here, so build speed for the planet is 2.48, so just about 2.5 for build and repair speed. And then for the spaceport, it's 3.9 to build and 11.7 to repair. So spaceport's very important for your ships because they're going to build them faster and repair them a lot faster. But of course, we can't just build a bunch of spaceports. We're kind of limited on that, but we can make them better. So we'll pop it in the research tree one more time just to look at it. If we come down, there's of course a variety of research topics, but we could build more stations. So if we research this space construction, so this is where we can get the construction yard version 2. So if we had that, it would make our construction yards themselves be better and build faster, of course. And then if we look at the spaceport, we could build a small spaceport version 2. So that's going to be a better spaceport. And then, of course, there are bigger spaceports as you go, different sizes. And then if we say look at it, we can click on it, see components. So just like your ships, your stations have components, and you can design these as well if you want some kind of custom station, but it's got just the one construction yard on there. But just good to pop in and see. And the spaceport's doing other stuff too. It also has research labs, so it's doing some research. If we were to say go look at, while we're on it, our research facility here and look at it, we can see that it has 2 research labs, so it's doing a little more research, it's a little more focused there. And then, of course, it can be upgraded and be better as well. And then we can design our own stations too. All right, so I think that covers pretty much everything I wanted to for this video. I'll probably play ahead a little bit to get to sort of the next stage of things. And you play ahead a little bit too if you're playing along at home. And then once we get our solar system expanded a little, explored, built some stuff, and then we'll look at next time, we'll go a little deeper on research. How to research things faster. And then I'm not the expert on it, so I'll look up some strategies on like early game things that you might want to research to get out the gate strong. Of course, faster than light travel, being able to leave our solar system here and explore our neighbors. That's of course going to be an important one, but there's a lot of other things to consider too. And then we'll cap it off with looking at our new mining locations one more time and seeing that yes, we still have a couple that we need. The Necrostone, so that's an important resource we need early to build and research a lot of things. So let's queue that up, get that built. And then if we're looking at our list, we can see there are the yellow are things that are oversupply production, so we got plenty. We're not worried about those. But there's not any more red. The red ones we want to build for sure. And then it's not to say we need all the resources we can get. It's mostly just prioritizing early and saying, oh, we need these red ones because we're short on those. So we want to go get those for sure. And then after that, it's going to be you want all your construction resources, you want your fuel, and then you might start looking at which of the luxury resources that you want, depending on what you need and what's available out there. But anyway, that is enough for this video. So like I said, next time we'll look at research for sure. I think that's a big topic. So we'll look at research, how it works, how you can do it faster, There's the scientist character, research stations. There's several things to talk about on it. And then we will also escape our initial solar system here. We'll get that next FTL drive researched and expand out and see the rest of the stars. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe so you get all the videos, and see you next time. Bye.